All right, it is time. This is the Infinite Investment Game. I'll talk about alternative investments, collectibles, and this is not investment advice, but I hope to give you information that will basically help you be the best investor or sports card investor or collector that you can possibly be. And I want to talk about what drives the sports card market. And this is something that people kind of mention, but they don't talk enough about. So let's get into it. All right. So the first thing that drives the collectibles and sports card market is emotional attachment. People have emotional attachment to the players. It could be some event specific to cards. A lot of it is nostalgia based. So as a kid, they really wanted these cards. They may have collected them. Maybe they lost them, or there's a card they always wanted. They become adults, and then now they want to buy them. And emotional attachment is really funny because you would think, oh, why would someone want some cardboard? But they just gravitate to it. I've even had the same thing. I mostly collected Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, TCG type stuff. Very rarely on the sports card side until recently. But then once you get them, you like the pictures, you like the artwork, and it gets to the point where it's like, I don't want it, especially if it's rare. If it's very rare, then you're like, I don't want to get rid of this, or I don't want to upgrade, but like, what if I'm making a mistake? And you're very attached to the cards. And that's always going to be the case. That's always going to be the case. It's not really going to change. I think the most important one, though, is going to be the next thing is investments. And before I go into the investment side, please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video so it can reach more people. But for investments, people believe, they can make a lot of money out of sports cards, which during certain periods, yes, they can. In the past 2 years, you could have made a boatload of money, especially if you got in early. And that's the big thing. If you get in early, you can make a lot of money in sports cards. But I think the issue is a lot of people are very, very confused with speculation versus investing. People think that, oh, I'm going to buy Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, I'll give you the best example is Patrick Mahomes, though. 2017 Panini Prism PSA 10 Patrick Mahomes. When he won the first Super Bowl, they shot to $1,975. And people were like, man, that's too much spending for that card. And then people speculated during the offseason, it went down to $1,000 and it went up to eventually $12,000 or $14,000. And there's some $12,000-$14,000 a pop. I know it's a lower pop count. It's not like Luka Doncic's pop count, but also there weren't any bases for his card. But it was just insane. And I would see this as speculation because you don't really know that this dude is going to be an all-time great. Yes, he won an MVP. Yes, he has some very impressive numbers early on. But football is a team sport, and I don't care how good you are as a quarterback. If the rest of your team is trash, they're not going to win anything. And injuries, and there are a lot of other things that come out of other teams, and your division and your conference can get really, really good, and that becomes a problem as well. And people assume that he was probably either going to be Tom Brady or the second best quarterback to ever play the game. And that was kind of built on his prices being $12,000 to $14,000 for a mid-tier card, the Panini Prism card. Now, it's the same thing with Luka Doncic. It's the same thing with Giannis Antetokounmpo. His 2013 Panini Prism, Giannis Antetokounmpo PSA 10. I remember buying them at $700 or $800 a piece. I sold them probably around $1,500 or $1,600. I remember I was holding them and they were getting up to $6,000 or $7,000, and about going up to August 2020 before the market kind of had like a major correction / crash. See, when that happened, people were like, Yeah, he won 2 MVPs and Defensive Player of the Year, but he didn't even win a championship. And then when he did win a championship, his cards actually tanked. They did go back to 3,000, but they tanked back to $1,500, $1,600, and even $1,400, maybe $1,300. But now they're selling for $1,100, and he's already won a title. He's won 2 MVPs, and he has a Defensive Player of the Year, and he's been making first NBA all NBA teams in the last 4 years. So people now, the issue maybe 5 years now, but he's going to All-Star games, like he's making history for the Bucks. He's just playing extremely well, and he's getting into it where he's probably in the top 25 players ever played a game. He continue this, or he could be even better and could end up in top 5. But people think that when it's going up, they think, it's going to go up even higher, when them being an all-time great may be built into their price. Luka Doncic, him being an all-time great is built into the price, and probably him being better than Larry Bird, probably better than Magic Johnson, is built into his price. So when you're paying at one point his Panini Prism Silver PSA 10 was $14,000, $10,000. Now it's around $2,000 to $3,000. People still thought, because they looked at LeBron cards, they're going to be going to 100,000 one day, maybe 50 years from now or something crazy like that. But probably not, because way more Luka cards exist, not just in that set and the mid-tier set, but there's way more lower end cards compared to LeBron, way more rookie mid-tier cards, and way more high-end cards, and way more sets. So it's probably 10 times more. So his cards won't reach that, and maybe he has more popularity, but those people also have to collect cards, and there's still that generation that are still in the cards, which is good. But I do think a lot of people are going to start moving to other things like video games and things such as that. And not only with speculating, people need to understand, if you're buying a player that's playing now, outside of LeBron, Brady, who's basically at that point where they about to retire, and even LeBron, there's still speculation in a sense. I mean, literally, if a player's playing now, the only exceptions you can really argue is Tom Brady, because he's been in the league for over 20 years, about 20 years now. You're just speculating. You're speculating, because you're speculating, which is in the price, that they're gonna extend their career. They're gonna win another championship. They're gonna have even more accolades that maybe we don't see coming, or major accolades like MVP and things like that. And that's why LeBron cards are declining, because people think, they have more room to grow, but people already have the best case scenario of him winning at least 2 more championships, maybe 3 more, and tying Michael Jordan. And it may not end up that way, and that's the issue that I think people really need to understand. And even with hobby boxes, people are buying these hobby boxes thinking they're going to be the next 1986 Fleer, and it's not. The 2008 hobby box will not sell as much of a 1986 Fleer. There's way more out there, and not only that, and yeah, there's box breaks and all this. The issue is, people know that basketball card hobby boxes are worth a lot and could be worth a lot in the future. So it's going to be way more hoarding, and less people are going to want to open those boxes. So it's going to be way more out there, and that's the issue. That's the real issue now. And then now you have other sets that exist that people are hoarding, and Flawless, National Treasures, Immaculate, Opulence, Noir, Impeccable. I think they have Panini 101 now. Like, you have all this stuff that people are just straight up hoarding, and people are going to go to that first before they go to anything else. And in the 1986 Fleer set, for example, you have Michael Jordan card and his sticker card. And that's what people need to understand. And people aren't getting this. They're speculating because, one, these players haven't won anything yet. And even if they did win a championship, you need to win multiple championships, not just two. Kevin Durant is an example. Same thing for people still speculating with Mike Trout and Bryce Harper, where they haven't won any championships. Yeah, they win MVPs, but they still have to do more. And even more so with Ronald Acuna, Juan Soto, people like that for baseball. So that's a real issue. And then the last thing that affects is status. Because you have the high-end card, very rare card, the rarity and how much it costs plays into the status. So you have a stack of cards. So when the card market was booming, people are like showing their cards, showing their collection. It's like, rich people showing off their fine art. That's what it was. There's a status thing. But with cards going down, investment is starting to plummet, and also you're going to have the other thing is status, because a lot of these cards aren't going to be worth as much. So now it's going to get more into just the emotional. And hopefully people learn that. I need to hammer this home one more time. People learn that, like, listen, the investment part is a problem. Like, because people are buying stuff from Walmart and thinking it's an investment, and it's not. It's just not. It's just too much stuff out there. Yes, they open a bunch of stuff, but it's too much out there. And year by year is worse and worse of investment. So buying sealed wax is not the best investment.